that we keep doing every day. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Hathem. I used to be the chairman and the president of Mass Queens between 2010 to 2015. And there's a lot of work that had been done with a lot of the community members helping out and working with us, starting with the Masjid Dar al-Dawah and ending with the Ibn Sina. Also, if you remember that we also had the rental on Stanway. So inshallah, this session is going to be very quick. By all means, this is not a fundraiser, just to let you know. So I'm currently serving on the Mass National Office, and I've been invited by our dear brother Ahmed Al-Saqqa, so we can share with you, as I mentioned before, the tradition that we do every year to showcase what Mass New York is, the mission, the vision, and as you know, Mass New York is really the kind of mothership, if you want to call it, for Masjid Dar al-Dawah, for Ibn Sina, and for all the projects that we do here in New York, inshallah. So without any further ado, we're going to watch this short video, then we're going to recap it in a couple of minutes, and we're going to resume, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair.
It's about knowing that since I live on campus, I live far from home, it's knowing that when I come back, and even if I'm not here, I always have the people that are around me that are there to support me.
Stepping stone. These activities help me become a better person. They help me change the world, help change people, whether Muslim or not Muslim. They help me guide them and teach them about the one true goal.
I wanted to integrate the Muslim community with the remainder surrounding communities so we can become part of the community, voice our opinions, and have more participation in our community.
So much you can gain just by saying those few words.
Started coming here 9 years ago. I was 13 years old, and I first attended a couple of Ramika West's lectures, and ever since then I just started coming, and I personally loved it.
They've given me the platform to speak and give lectures and halaqat amongst my peers and my friends, and throughout the many Muslim meetings we've had. It's been a really great place to learn and to practice. Our stars talk about their experiences with Mass New York.
Beautiful thing about Mass, and what I appreciate about it so much, is the fact that it has so much to offer in so many different departments. Many organizations will focus on one aspect. They'll focus on knowledge, they'll focus on activism, focus on outreach. However, Mass has an ability to cover all of these departments and not only help many members of society, but give an outlet for different members in the community community that have skill sets to help. That's the goal of MAS, to continue to strive for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's ever evolving. There's always new departments opening up, there's always new aspects, there's always new institutes and projects. It's open. If it can benefit the society, MAS is ready to accept it and utilize it and implement it.
For me to be a creative leader. It's a means for me to motivate other people, lead other people, kind of establish what Islam should be in this society. You know, we have a lot of misjudgments and misrepresentations of what Islam is. So I make it my responsibility to convey Islam with utmost clarity, and I use my platform here at MAS to start programs, whether it's spiritual events, sports tournaments, charity events, to help convey Islam in that manner, to follow in the footsteps of the Prophet and MAS allows me to be that leader, that creative person that throws input and doesn't have to worry about judgment.
When I hear MAS, it reminds me of all the youth it has introduced me to, and all the community leaders that has connected me with, and all the imams that have taught me about life in general, not just about Islam, but about life, work, school, what I can do for the community around me, and how my Islam and my actions can impact the society.
MAS for me is very important because it was my first experience with Islam growing up as a kid, as a youth. It was one of the very few places where I felt connected as a youth. And I started off here by playing sports. And through sports, I would listen to lectures by people who were not much older than me, and they would inspire me. And then ended up being part of a sports committee. In that sports committee, today we connect youth around the high school ages to football, basketball. We're working on other sports like soccer as well.
My job as youth director is to implement and carry out programs for the youth, so to enable them to have a voice and to make a difference in the community. So we work very closely with our youth.
For MAS marketing this year is to have a strong marketing team so we can bring the MAS branding to another level. We are doing some great work from outreach to tarbiyah to youth, and we need the world to see that.
Our work basically consists of going out to each communities within Queens and doing random acts of kindness such as food pantry drives, canned food drives, educating our community on awareness to topics as Islamophobia, Syria, and also leukemia walks, breast cancer walks.
Gym that we play sports, whether it's basketball, soccer, volleyball. We also have a restaurant upstairs where we gather around. Also on the weekend we have Sunday school and Saturday school, which includes Taekwondo, which includes Islamic studies, a Quran class.
Our mission statement is to move people to strive for God consciousness, liberty and justice, and to convey Islam with utmost clarity. Our vision is a just and virtuous American society. We have 42 chapters nationwide, and we have localities in other places as well. We exist in most major cities across the country.
One of the things that we're trying to do this year with outreach is we're understanding the importance of the great responsibility that we have in New York to be the face of Islam. I think what's happening is with the election, with the politics, with different things that happen in events, I think we understand now that we need to be present more than ever. So this year we're looking out and we're like, okay, in Queens, in Brooklyn, in the Bronx, what does the community need? And how can the Muslims of that community serve that need? It could be ESL classes, it could be computer classes, citizenship classes, whatever it is, workshops on domestic violence, all types of parenting skills. We really want to make sure that we're reaching the needs of the community and we're coming together collectively and we're changing the faces.
Our main focus is on 4 major areas: legal, financial, documentation, and communication. Our goal is to build a solid infrastructure for our teams to work and to succeed. Our duty is to serve more than to lead.
At Mass New York, we are serving our community, Muslim and non-Muslim, to deliver the message of Islam with utmost clarity. We cater to all ages, but our focus is on empowering our youth by creating an environment for them to develop themselves and become leaders. We are also focusing on civic engagement by being more involved in our larger community. To achieve our goal, we work with all other organizations and centers who share the same vision, along with our centers and departments.
Assalamu alaikum. So as you've seen, I mean, this was just a quick overview of what's going on in Mass New York. So just to sum it up, inshallah, and again, I'm stressing the fact that this is not a fundraiser. This is a tradition that we do every year. You'll see our dear brother Ahmed Saqqa is going to do this next year. Previous leaders like myself who were chairman of the board in previous years, they'll come to do the same thing to get the support of the entire organization. But just to sum it up, as you've seen, there are about 7 locations in New York for Mass. So starting from Staten Island, you have the Staten Island Center. Going through Brooklyn, you have the Youth Center of Bath. You have the Chipset Bay. Then you go in Queens, you have Ibn Sina and Dar al-Dawa. Going through BMC, which is in Bronx and Upper New York. So there are exactly 7 locations for Mass in New York. The key message, as you've heard, is about the mission of Mass, which is to move people. And I'm stressing the point about moving people to strive for God consciousness, liberty and justice, and to convey Islam with the utmost clarity. But the theme of what you've seen here is all about the youth. You've seen the outreach director is from the youth. You've seen the youth director, the chairman of Staten Island is from the youth. So the key message really here is about building leaders, building the youth through the Tarbiyah program, through a solid Tarbiyah program. Via the vehicles that we're using is these Mahadin Tarbawiyya, Ibn Sina, Dar al-Da'wa and others. So we're using the Tarbiyah as our core rudiment, right, to build these new leaders that are going to carry the organization forward, inshallah. So we spoke about the mission and vision. We spoke about the youth through the Tarbiyah. There are 3 key departments in Mass, which is youth, obviously, Tarbiyah, as well as civic PACE or outreach. Sometimes we call it PACE or outreach, which is civic engagement and collaborating with other organizations. Definitely Mass deals a lot with other organizations like ICNA, CARE. You've seen Mass, ICNA Mass. All these conventions, that's a collaborative work between Mass and other organizations. So Mass itself, we call it, is an Islamic movement, but it's not the Islamic movement. I mean, it plays a role in the Islamic movement. What that means is it doesn't matter all these buildings that are being built, it's all about the people and people supporting that movement and supporting this organization. So it is very important. So people go, or administrations go back and forth. People like myself who served here about 5 years. Brother Ahmed Sakha with a great team with him, Amr Arafa, as well as Sameh and Hani Arafa, a lot of other people. Our dear brother Hisham Morgan, you've seen him here, he's leading the administration department, he's also the ED. So you get the support of the national team, the local team, the middle layer, all that stuff. But the whole key is to get you, specifically the youth of Queens and Long Island, to be involved, to support the existing administration, to support the existing board and be involved in all these activities. With that, I'll leave you, inshallah. So Jazakumullah khair for listening. I hope my message resonates well, especially with the youth, and building them and having you engaged in building the youth of Queens and Long Island, inshallah, because it's just one sub-chapter. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again to accept from all of us our qiyam, our salah, ameen ya Rabbil Alameen, and to bless us with a beautiful Eid and a blessed Eid. Wa jazakumullah khair for listening again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
حطوا على الباب كده. هذا الشيخ